Yes, people. Right, big news coming out of the media. Not Old Trafford yet, not Carrington yet. Just all the big boys on stage, Fabrizio, you name it, Talksport. They all bigging up Andrey Santos signing to United, 50 million, 48 million upfront plus 2 million add-ons, according to Fabrizio. The guy just he just glazes over anything about United. He will let it go. He will either add or report change the symbol, the sign of the currency that's been used to pay for the players. It will go from euros to pounds or from pounds to euros. That's Fabrizio when it comes to United. But the topic today is about this guy, Andrey Santos. Look at 50 million at Chelsea. He signed for Chelsea a few years ago, and he's been on loan more than probably he's represented Chelsea. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he went on loan to, I think it was Forest, and he had one bad game, and that coach didn't let him back onto the team, which is, you can't blame him for that. He had a poor game, but who knows? Every player can have a bad game. But for Chelsea as a whole, it's been a success story over there, right? Obviously, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I was one of those people that was calling for, oh, he's a good player, let's go sign him. No, that's not that's not what I don't think any United fan out there will say that we just watched Chelsea had a disastrous season where they couldn't even qualify for the Europa League or whatever league they're supposed to be qualifying for, Champions League or not. Top four was out, top five, whatever you want to call it. Had a poor season, but that doesn't mean the player didn't have a good season. He was one of the few players that had a okay season at Chelsea, right? Plus, he's also young. He's a young lad, Chelsea they invested a lot of money in these young players, where um, now they're trying to recoup some of that money back because they're not in Europe. So that's why they're probably going to turn into a selling club right now rather than an investment club. And they'll still be buying players because the more players they sell or send out on loan, you create that space for them and PSL, whatever you want to call it, to sign more players. So I won't be surprised at all if we see big players coming to Chelsea. But for us, we're going from it. We got from one of our main targets, which was Elliot Anderson, right? So now this guy. Oh, we went for Henderson as well. Henderson for in Italy. They said that deal was done, but all of a sudden they're telling us, no, that's not the case. They need to do more tests on him, more medical tests. They need to go through other checks before he can sign. So they're not sure. And I think the reason why we're struggling with that signing is because from a United point of view, even from the Santos signing, as a United fan, we are not used to getting players for cheap. So anything that's cheap, we question it. I don't know if that makes sense. Because we used to play for average players who pay 100 million players for like Anthony, and will pay a ridiculous amount of in wages. So because we are not used to that, and now we question any player that's worth below 100 million that wants to join United, or worth below 70 million, 60 million that wants to sign for United, that United, or United wants to sign. And that is something that we need to get out of the way, because some of these players are really good players. But just because their price tag and not 100 million, in United hierarchy now, they're trying to stop, you know, they're rebuilding something that's gone from 100 million, Stardom, Galacticos, whichever. Some players just used to come to United for the money. And now they're saying, if you want to come, that's fine. If you want to come, we're not going to pay a ridiculous amount of money for you. If your club wants to owe you a ransom, that's fine. If other club wants to pay, we don't mind. You can pay it, which is what happened to Anderson and Fernandez and those other guys around Newcastle United, which are really, by the way, Newcastle, they have a really poor start to the season in the transfer market. Same thing happened to them last season, by the way, which I did. I did a live stream. I think it lasted 4 days straight. The live stream because they couldn't sign a striker. I put up a live stream that said this live stream will continue. I will only shut it down if Newcastle sign a striker, and eventually they ended up signing Voltemade, whatever his name is. So I'll switch it off. But yeah, we are with Santos because we are not used to getting this type of players for cheap. Because from a Chelsea point of view, 50 million, they're making profit out of it, and it's not been just outstanding. Because let's be honest, at Chelsea, it's not the number one; it's the number three in that position, and we're paying 50 million for third choice midfielder to replace Casemiro. Hey, I'll support any player that comes to United until they prove me wrong. I will support every single player that joined United until they prove me wrong. Same way I supported Ugarte when he joined United, like give him chance, but it's not been good enough. Unfortunately for him, he's got injury now, which means he cannot leave United again for another season. Uh, I've supported Fred and those other guys until they leave the club or they prove me wrong. So you cannot really say uh, Santos will not be a success or will not be or will be will turn out to be another flop signing for United. I'm not gonna sit and say that because until then, you just have to back him. And if I think the other thing about this signing, they said Newcastle went in for him, matched Chelsea's asking price, and offered him a lot more money in wages to join Newcastle United. But however, he chose United. That's the pulling power of this club, the pulling power. But again, at the end of the day, it depends on the agent, it depends on the club. If they don't want to sell it, they don't want to sell it because, I mean, the same story could have come out for Elliot Anderson. But United were never going to pay him, 300,000 a week, which City have done. So I don't blame him for going to City. He may have wanted to join United, but pay that paycheck. He's not going to leave it. He's not going to swap that just because he loves United. No, he's not going to do that. But the long term, and that's will probably be forgotten. I say he's not going to be the player that because every player that's left City, nobody talks about them. No one. The same way you talk about United player. Watch Anders. This guy Santos now joining United, and his stature is gonna go from here now to there. He's at Chelsea here, now he's gonna go up there. That's what happened when he joined United. It's the biggest club in the world. But yeah, please subscribe, like, and share this if if you're into United, if you're a United fan. And also let's talk about this signing. I'm gonna welcome it regardless of what it is. I've already put up a video in there, which I'll play for you in a bit. Let's have a look at it and let me know because what I've seen as well, a lot of pundits, a lot of podcasters, a lot of football people, they're very skeptical about this signing. It's not because of the fee, just because he was top choice at Chelsea, I couldn't break into the Forest squad, and he's been out on loan. I think that's why people are a little bit skeptical. But like I said, he was one of the few players that had a good season, okay season at Chelsea, and you can see by Rory Jennings as well, who I think he's quite an honest guy. He's one of the honest. I follow him because he's one of the people that I think he doesn't show a lot of biasness in his analysis when it comes to players. He's very fair and he says the truth. He calls for what it is. So yeah, I follow him. I think he's been honest about Santos as well, and only time will tell. So if we see here, this player's gonna come to United. Like I said there, please like and subscribe. Don't forget. I'm trying to rate 5K now. I'm on 4.5K. We're getting there slowly. But let's have a look at it. Again, first few seconds there. He's quite good at defending. He goes to the ground a lot like Casemiro, almost same as Casemiro. The way he goes to the ground. Look at that. Yes. 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 There you go. Defending there. Gets a kiss from his keeper. Look at that block. Again. Yeah, so anyway, that's a quick clip of him there. Showcasing why United probably gone for him in terms of that defensive role. Where you've got to play alongside Kobe Mino or Ugarte or Mason Mount or whatever else you can think of. But only time will tell. Only time will tell. This guy will be. But under Michael Carrick, a lot of people, a lot of players improved during this short tenure. And for Champions League wise, we need players like this one, young players with high energy who can run, who can track back, mixed with experience. I'm hearing Rashford might be coming back as well. But who knows? I really don't want him to come back. I really want him to have peace elsewhere. Because one bad pass for Rashford, people are going to come for him again. They're going to come for him. Not tracking back, or even if he gives everything and that last minute he doesn't run back, people still going to come for him. And he's just that type of person, that type of player. The caliber is, man, he's still the biggest star. Yeah, he comes back, watch him, his shirt sales, he's gonna go up there, just like the Ronaldo comeback. You can argue with me about Ronaldo. Obviously, Ronaldo is one of the greatest. Rashford is just a superstar. So Ronaldo is the greatest. But you can't take that away from Rashford. He's still a superstar for United or wherever he goes. He sells, his marketing, his PR. It's absolutely great. And that's why we all support him. And plus, he's just a nice person, genuinely nice guy. But anyway, let's listen to some of the pundits, what they had to say about this potential move for this United potential United signing. So if we go to the guys at Talksport, let's have a look what he said.
Are you all right? You having fun?
I'm good.
You got lost
in Central Park.
How?
But apart from that,
What do you mean you got lost in it? What happened?
I was trying to find, the bench where they do the Beatles songs.
No.
You got a performer there who's playing Beatles songs.
Oh, right, okay.
I thought that'd be quite cool.
Yeah.
Couldn't find it. And then couldn't find my way out because I wanted to go to the plaza and check out the Home Alone
Surely
Hotel again.
you look up and see, there's buildings over there. I'll walk towards the buildings. Then you get out of Central Park.
You'd have thought so.
Stop having cupboards.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just look up.
Did you get out?
I did get out and I did find the plaza, so that was all good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you having, before we talk all things transfers, are you having fun? Because we hung out with you yesterday. It was great afternoon.
It was a great day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Seeing Benty on that boat was the highlight. You making me try the world's hottest chicken was the low light, and then we had a great meal with Troy when he finally turned up last night.
Yeah.
A little dig. Hey, free meal, digging you out.
No, it's a free meal, free drink.
Yeah.
We shall talk about our conversation a bit later on.
There's a lot to talk to you about.
That was
anyway.
I think we should tell everyone about your new nickname. Because Ryan Bryan, by the way, who's behind the camera, came up with it. So you, yesterday, for some reason, were wearing a Masters green T-shirt. Why were you doing that?
I was trying to be all American,
Okay.
But who got you that?
Me at Augusta.
And so we decided to call him, or Ryan came up with it. You've heard of Bryson DeChambeau?
Yeah.
Bryson DeChambles.
Yeah.
Because of how he looked. I think it's a bit harsh, don't you?
Based on today, he's carrying that trend on.
It's very harsh considering Ryan wouldn't even be here if I'd not handpicked him to look after me for 6 weeks.
Hold on, you're not.
Oh my god.
I mean, the options were very, very thin to throw out. Ryan Bryan or no one else, isn't it? Right, should we talk all things Marcus Rashford? Reintegrated back into the Man United squad. Now, that does surprise me because I thought there was no way back for him.
I think if either party had their way, there wouldn't be. United want to sell him. Rashford wants to leave. I think he's still got issues with the hierarchy over the way that his departure was handled. Probably more with the hierarchy, actually, than with the previous manager. I've heard speaking this morning and finally apologising to Manchester United fans, by the way. About time, Ruben. But anyway, moving back to Rashford.
You ad-libbing there?
Still bitter.
A little bit. But on to Rashford. He's
I
on,
mentioned his name, he said last time.
he's on massive money. 325 grand a week there or thereabouts. Barcelona, as you say, have signed Anthony Gordon. Doesn't look like they're going to sign Rashford as well. So I don't think there are clubs queuing up to sign Rashford. So it's almost got to be a sort of uneasy truce that he returns for pre-season after a post-World Cup holiday. I think he'll at least start the season as a Manchester United player. If he is to leave, I think it will happen right at the end of the window. And who knows? If he starts the season, gets in the team, starts well, Michael Carrick may decide to keep him.
Do you know what's a crazy one? It's always going to be difficult because he's made it so clear since he's left that he doesn't want to go back to Manchester United.
Yeah.
He's happy at Barcelona. He's done everything he can to not have to go back. To change his mindset, to go back to I'm 100% committed to Manchester United, I think it's pretty much impossible to.
Well, his mindset's always been the issue. It's never been about ability. It's about attitude and application.
I love looking at Troy when there's a big story because he smiles and I'm like, I need
He's
to
a
hear
hater,
what's
Troy.
happening
No,
in your
I just
head.
find it funny because obviously Man United fans love their own players, but when he left, remember, he was very adamant that it's a toxic place. He wasn't part of it. It was all Man United. Now he's going back into it. Now we've got to reintegrate the guy who said it was bad. So what do
Pay
the
him
other
off.
lads think? Because
Pay
we've
him
been in
off.
dressing rooms where guys have left and they think they're not coming back, and then they come back and they've said a lot of things. It's like, oh, one sec, just call myself in here one sec. Let's discuss some of those things you said. So it's not necessarily the football part, but also this guy, I love him to death. But if Rashford scores 2 goals, 2 goals in the first 10 games, he's back.
But that's
He's
all-
great. Give him
Troy,
a 5-year deal.
Troy, that's all football fans, right?
No, but he's also the guy that was like, when he's gone, oh, good riddance. So he jumps one way or the
No,
other.
I still think it's best for all concerned if he leaves.
Yeah, I also think for Marcus, I said it at the top of the World Cup, this should be the biggest wake-up call and slap in the face to him as well. You went to Barcelona, you did relatively...
You know what? This guy, trading it, right? By the way, go check his video of him. His stats. I've got all his stats. Right? This guy never scored 20 goals a season ever in his life. Troy, ever. He played in the Premier League for about 12, 13, 14, whatever years, 8, 9, 10 years. He never scored. Where those club, he was the main guy. When we talk about being the main player at a club where everyone passes the ball to you, right? He never scored 20 goals, 15 goals, right? I think the highest was 13 goals. He had one season. But his hair talking as if he was a world beater. Trading it. And he got management job. He got shafted after a week. He got kicked out of the road after a week. And for him to talk about Rashford the way he's talking about Rashford has done everything he's supposed to do at Barca. Barca just didn't want to sign him. So because financially, I don't think it made sense for them to sign him and pay him 200 plus, you know. But that's how football is these days. You can't blame Rashford for being on 250,000 a week or whatever you want to call it, you know, with the fake narrative where they tell us that he's on certain wages, but actually when you read it, it's not. But also, when you look at Rashford's shirt sales, he actually pays his own wages to people just buying his image. Same way Ronaldo did. So trading it, like, I don't really pay attention to what he's got to say about Rashid. Most of the time, he just waffles because he wants the attention because his job is to just waffle. Well, face to face, you probably will not say anything like that to Rashford. They will never get an interview with Rashford. He's been the most consistent hater for Rashford. You know what I mean? And he's gone to America and he's trying his best to stick it there. He'll never get a job. He never played, Champions League. He never played for England. You know what I mean? If you really that top footballer, Darren Bett there played for England. The other guys are not footballers, so they can give their own opinion on that. But you as a player, commenting on top players like Rashid, who's represented this country, scored probably more goals than your whole career put together, even as a youth player, academy player, put together plus a senior player. So Troy is waffling. So waffler. That's what I call it. One of those people.
Okay. They went, nah. In the current market, was he 35 million? I think
26.
26 million. They went, no, not for us. Send you back. They then go and get Gordon.
For 70.
Then you go to the England squad. You think you're playing because you've done all right. Then the manager goes, nah, we're getting the same guy, Gordon. So if you now can't go, right, I'm going to show him, I'm going to show you, I'm going to show everyone there's levels between me and this guy, then it's something that's just in you that you can't do. And I think his talent is there. We all know he's talented. But if you can't now be motivated to show everybody that you're the man, unfortunately, you're going to find out where you end up. And he'll end up at somewhere like Everton or somewhere like that.
But how many wake-up calls do you need? Because I remember saying the same thing to Adrian Durham the day that he was left out of England's squad for the European Championships 2 years ago.
But he has it all the time. But his whole career shows you who he is. Something bad happens, he has a reaction. Does something really well, you reward him, and then he gets
There's no doubt in his talent, right? We all rate him as a footballer.
Absolutely.
So why... So Benji and I have had a conversation many times about... Should Arsenal go for him? He'd be perfect on left. Trossard's got Martinelli.
He wouldn't be able to handle the scrutiny and the pressure that Arteta would put on him.
What?
That's been proven. He went to Barcelona where there's a system right in place.
Yeah.
They've had Zlatan Ibrahimovic has said, you know, come on board or get lost. They've had top players. He went there where he wasn't able to be. Let's say he wasn't able to be the Marcus Rashford, the loud out and going, because that's not how they do it. He started well. What does he do? Turns up late. Not played again. And you can see it's just his personality. He's one of those people that he needs to be given a little bit of rope, a little bit of latitude. So, okay, right, you might be late every now and again, or you might want to go out. That ain't happening at Arsenal.
But Benji, if we get to the final, does he start another game for England?
I guess it depends on the situation in terms of the performance of Anthony Gordon, because I think that's why he's been given opportunities, because Anthony Gordon, to be fair to him, the last game was outstanding against Mexico.
Yeah.
But before that, it was a flip of a coin. It was like Rashford or Anthony Gordon. But do you know it could go one or two ways for Rashford? If he came to Arsenal, like I would love him to come to Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
He'd either buckle down and go, do you know what? I've got an opportunity now at the Premier League champions. If I don't butt my ideas up now, there's no telling where I could end up, as you just said. Yeah. So it does come down to mindset, because the ability's there. When you see him go past people, listen, I'm still not at the level of Marcus Rashford where some people put him. I've never put him up there, but there's no doubt whatsoever, if that Rashford that can turn up, that can go past people, can make things happen, he makes Arsenal better.
Yeah. Does he start for anyone?
Everything better.
Does he start for anyone? Everyone's fit for England. Does he start for anyone here?
No.
Not for me.
Not in the deeper stages, because he doesn't work hard enough off the ball.
Just quickly while we got you, Manchester United have made a signing, is that right?
They've agreed a fee, 48 million plus 2 million for Andrey Santos at Chelsea, so 50 million pounds. He's been given permission to undergo a medical.
We've all got the same face. We're all wincing.
I find this quite underwhelming. You know, when you talk about a midfield rebuild that United have needed, you've got Edison coming in from Atlanta, might be a good player. Never played in the Premier League though.
Good player.
And Andrey Santos, who was by no means a first-team regular for Chelsea, who didn't qualify for any form of Europe. I'm not sure these were the big signings that Manchester United fans were expecting.
I said last year I wanted you to go and get Santos. I think he's talented in terms of he can break play up, gets around. I don't know if he's durable enough in terms of fitness, because he's had issues already. But also, I've had this conversation with you so many times. Why does everyone think that the hierarchy at Man United can get it right?
Yeah.
Why do they think that?
Well, they did okay last summer. The recruitment was good last summer.
It couldn't be any worse.
No.
It couldn't be any worse. And you paid top money for a lot of these players, and now you're going in and getting two midfielders. While they are talented, are unproven, and you're expecting now that it's going to be okay. Like, it's wild.
But they want to kick on. And actually, we've seen this. And obviously, Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe are supposed to be the ones making all the football decisions. But there is a history. The Glazers are willing to spend money to get into the Champions League. And then when United actually get into the Champions League, they tend to pull the rug.
Quickly, just a quick one for me, quickly. Are Man United still shopping at the top table?
Well, not based on those two signings, no.
So, here we are. When you listen to these guys speak, right, and That's what I mean, because we're not used to signing players for less than 100 million anymore. And we don't go for players like Santos. We stopped going for players like that until last season when we went for Burmo, went for Cunha to smaller club, right? Why can you? Because we go to Chelsea and we're not paying 100 million for this guy. All of a sudden, it's questionable. Yes, it is questionable because obviously it's the top choice at Chelsea. But it doesn't even make sense, the outrage. It's 50 million. In these days, world football, that should be a penny, right? United can give away. Not 100 million, not double the price. That should be, if it turns out to be good or not, probably ended up on loan, selling him again, recoup some of the money again. But these guys will come to United and want to work to stay. And they want to work hard and stay. That's what it is. And the fact is, he's a good enough player for the Premier League. He's played in the Premier League. And Troy is talking about Ederson is a good player, though. Ederson is a good player. How many times did he watch Ederson? Probably a few. So again, I'm giving Ederson the same latitude here where I support the player when he joins the club until he proves me wrong. That's what we're gonna do. And I've got videos of them already, both of them welcoming them to United because they both signed. They're already up. So go watch it, go search for it and watch it, please, and drop a like on it. But then I think probably the only person I'm listening to now is Rory Jennings. Let's listen to his assessment of this whole. And before that, we go to Steve. Stephen Offset, who is currently in America, revealed. And when you woke up, I think he had the news. This is how he reacted to it.
Right then, welcome back to the channel. Stephen Howson, and it's official. Manchester United have reached an agreement with Chelsea for the transfer of Andrey Santos, and I am properly underwhelmed by the transfer. I have to be honest with you. I don't really know enough about him right this second to be able to give you like a proper in-depth scout report that's going to be worth listening to. So I'm just going to give you my opinion on where I think the transfer is right now. Because I've been honest about it in the video yesterday. Some of you disagree. Some of you are like, oh, just give the guy a chance. I did a video with Joe today where I said the same sort of thing, where I was like, I haven't seen enough of him. I don't think you can call this guy a Premier League proven player. But I think we know enough about the shape of the window and what United needed. And I think that's why I'm underwhelmed by where we find ourselves at the moment. This isn't going to be one of the reactions that the club wants to see, but this is the reaction that my gut is giving me to this situation. So let's talk about what the deal actually is, for starters. So 22-year-old Brazilian midfielder, technically come through Chelsea's academy, but he's also technically was signed from Vasco da Gama for 18 million, so I don't know how that works. He's had various loan spells, Strasbourg, Nottingham Forest. He's made 43 appearances total for Chelsea. Not a lot of starts at all, but he has had minutes.
I don't understand.
A guaranteed starting role. Supposedly that was one of the things that reportedly closed this deal, and that's what worries me a little bit about this, because this isn't someone that's coming in as a squad player. £50 million plus a guaranteed starting role as part of the deal agreement tells me that this is, for stars, it's nearly triple what Chelsea paid for him. But at the same time, we needed a big marquee signing, and the marquee signing wasn't about the price. The marquee signing was about the quality. For me, Andrey Santos doesn't match that quality. He simply doesn't. Obviously Ornstein reporting it being tier 1. This deal is happening. So let's get into why I don't love it. First and foremost, £50 million for a 22-year-old that spent 18 months of the last 2 years on loan. That's a bit aggressive. Newcastle supposedly interested. Chelsea know the market. They've got the number that they wanted, and we've gone and paid it. We haven't haggled. But if you look at what 50 million gets you elsewhere, Sander Berg from Fulham was going to be 25-30. That's Premier League proven. Adam Wharton of Palace was supposedly around 50, maybe 60. That's a Premier League proven player. Alex Scott, yeah, they're talking about crazy figures for him, anywhere between 50 and 80 million. And again, I don't like that either, to be honest with you. So when you put Andrey Santos in that £50 million bracket, the difference between him and all the rest of those is they are Premier League proven midfielders. He can't be considered a Premier League proven midfielder just yet. Now at 30, 35 million, that might...
See, Steven is saying all this, this stuff. That's his opinion, obviously, he's entitled to it. He's naming all these prices for certain players in other clubs like Fulham, whichever ones, Forest, Brentford. It's naming all these players, right? And naming all these prices tied to 40 million, 50 to 60 million. But he himself knows, right? When United go in for a player, the price doubles. Which is why Forest were able to sell Elliot Anderson to City for 100 million. No other team will pay that amount for Anderson. No other team came in. But as soon as it was United, it goes up to 100 million. It's the same reason why Tottenham overpaid for players at Newcastle. Simple as that. It's the same reason Arsenal are going to overpay for certain players because United come in. So if United turn up today and go for Scott, right? So we want Scott. That price is going to go from 50 million to 80, 90 million. So the 50 million you're talking about here for Santos, Chelsea, that's what they asked for, guaranteed. That's what they asked for. That's why that deal went through. They don't need to argue about it. They don't need to go. Newcastle came, there's a competition, and they said we just want the 50 million, and wherever the player wants to go, if it's up to them. That's what you need. But for you to say, oh, we could have gone for certain players, Sennenberg and score these other guys, the prices goes up because there's room for them, the club, the owners, to increase the price if they want to, or not to sell to you. That's the difference there. So, but I understand Steven's thoughts on this one.
Might not have been a bad signing. A bit of cheap depth, long-term ceiling, bit of pedigree about him. We're at 50 million, and he's expecting to start because that's been something that's been discussed and has been put into his contract. I don't like it. He's not established himself as a starter, but we're paying starter money for him and guaranteeing him to be a starter. Come on, think about that. Just think about how all of those things shape up, because they don't shape up. They don't.
It will start if he plays.
The player doesn't excite me. The transfer doesn't excite me. It confuses me. Now, I don't know enough about him in terms of I've not watched him strongly enough, but I know a little bit about him to break him down and say what I've seen with him. The bit that worries me the most about him is the fact that he didn't break into a Chelsea team. Admittedly, the Chelsea midfield is a stacked midfield, and that's one thing. You're up against Caicedo and Enzo in defensive midfield. They're elite, right? There's no two ways around that. Both £100 million players. But it means we haven't got loads and loads of games to actually analyse how good he is in the Premier League. So our judgment of him is going to be completely skewed. But we've paid money for him like we know what we're getting, and that's the disconnect that I've got in my head with him at the moment. If Santos is our second midfield signing after Ederson, that means we've spent nearly £90 million on the midfield so far this summer. Neither of the players that we've signed are a proper number 6. Ederson is a box-to-box 8. Santos is a project that's probably an 8. None of them are really the Casemiro replacement. None of them are the defensive screen that we've been talking about all summer. Neither of them are key. The Tchouaméni signing somewhere in the region of 70 plus million, I just can't see happening at the same time as us putting 50 million on him. And also, how do you guarantee that guy's going to be a starter if you then also sign someone like a Tchouaméni? So for me, that basically closes the door on our actual marquee signing, and that's the reason that I have a bit of an issue with it.
You think Madrid is actually going to sell Tchouaméni for less than 100 million? Do you really think that, Steve? All right, come on, man. Come on. This guy, yeah, they will say, okay, we'll sign you your guarantee starter. But You actually think at United, if you don't play well, they're gonna keep playing you? No, no, no. There's competition. They're not gonna keep playing you. Yeah, if you're not playing well, the fans will actually when they you know stay yourself like you're turning against him now, but you don't want to give him a chance. That would happen to him at United. If he turn up at United and not play well, and you keep asking him to start, yeah, ship him out. They'll ship him out. They'll send him out on loan. The club will tell you. He's probably on lower wages as well. They won't mind paying that. So that's why. But understand what he's talking about. We need a world-class midfielder that can replace Casemiro. You are going to have to pay that amount of money for it, over 100 million. At Madrid now, they're getting Tchouameni to sign a new contract. You know what they're doing? They're playing that game. They're playing that long game, Real Madrid. Yeah, they're the masters of this. They get players for free and they sell them for a lot of money. That's Madrid. That's what Madrid do nowadays. But that's his opinion. But then let me move on to Rory Jenkins. Jennings? Yeah, Rory Jennings. Is I value his opinion with this case because he's a Chelsea through and through, and he watches their game through and through. So let's hear what he's got to say.
Everything is for sale at Chelsea Football Club. Everything is for sale, and everything is for sale to everyone. Anyone can come and buy anything from us. There is absolutely no principle. There is absolutely no foundation. There is absolutely no appreciation of the rivalry. There is absolutely no principle. There is nothing.
Yes.
If you have the money, you can buy it. It really is as simple as that. I guarantee it. If Manchester United put a bid in, they could buy Stanford the Lion. Everything is for sale. There is absolutely no principle. And I'll tell you what, this sale of Andrey Santos, it's actually a great indicator as to who Chelsea are at the moment. It is a token of where we are. It is a token of the way that the sporting directors view the club. It's a token of what Blue Coast see us as. We are clearly a selling club. We are clearly selling our talent to teams that are in the Champions League. We are beholden to this stupid model of selling for profit no matter what. No matter what. If we make a tenner, we will do it. Forget it. It doesn't matter. We can solve the problem. We can live with it. Basically, make the money. That's what it is. It really is an abysmal decision by the club. And I tell you what, these failed sporting directors have our football operations in a chokehold. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, Andrey Santos is a player that is a very good player. He's a player that we need at the moment. He's a player that did very well when he played for us last year. He's one of the very few footballers to come away from last season able to hold their head up high. And we're selling him like that because there is no principle. I am telling you, these sporting directors are destroying the football club from the inside out. It's them. It's their planning. It's their players. If you do not fit the model, you're out. It's as simple as that. And Andrey Santos is obviously good enough to start for Chelsea next season. We finished 10th. He's going to move to a Champions League club. Sometimes it's just basic, right? Sometimes it's just basic. He is being sought by a team that are better than us. He is being bought by a team that are better than us. He is going to be a player playing in the Champions League. He is being bought by Christopher Vivel, a man who knows him very well, a man who's bought him before, and a man who fell out with our sporting directors. He has come back in for him and is now buying him.
Yeah.
If a better team than you want to buy a player in your team, surely that should set the warning signs going. But no, it doesn't. And you know what's going to happen, and it's so predictable and it's so infuriating. And it is why I detest Blueco this much. It's why I detest these sporting directors this much. You pick up a paper tomorrow, I guarantee what you're going to read, right? You'll pick up the back pages, you'll be having a coffee, you'll have your pan au chocolat, and you'll be reading about this transfer. And I guarantee you'll read something along these lines, right? They'll be telling us, the briefings will be going out now. And any of those journalists that toe the party line, anyone who has an interest of keeping Chelsea's press secretary sweet, you know what they're going to be doing? They're going to be briefing. They're going to be saying something along the lines of, Lavia is a better player than Santos. Lavia is the kind of player that fits Xabi Alonso's plans, whereas Andrey Santos doesn't really fit the way that Xabi Alonso wants to play football. It is going to be so PR'd And if you question it, by the way, you're seen as being some conspiracy theorist. Guarantee you, there will be articles written by very friendly journalists that say Xabi Alonso was in favour of this. Xabi Alonso prefers Romeo Lavia. Whereas if we're completely honest, Romeo Lavia has been a disgraceful signing for Chelsea. It hasn't worked. It's been an utter disaster. It's comparable, actually. You know the way we laugh at Mason Mount going to Manchester United? Romeo Lavia is that. Romeo Lavia is our version of Mason Mount. It's been a disgraceful purchase. Whereas Andrey Santos has been one of the very, very few good signings from Blue Coat.
Right. So that is from Rory. Rory, again, it doesn't mean it's what it says is. They call it as it is. Like, I have so much respect for this guy. But he's right, spot on. Chelsea, if you don't fit the narrative, you're out. Right? And United, it could be the same at United. If you don't fit the narrative, you'll be out. As much as they promise him a starting role, if he doesn't fit that standard when he joins the club, he's not going to start. He won't start automatically. Right? Because he's not bigger than the club. He's not bigger than the club. So 50 million for him, for someone that did relatively well last season for Chelsea, they finished 10th. And now his motivation will be to stay in the Champions League, to play for United and keep the statue going. Because, like I said, once you join United, you go from here to there. Right? I'll give an example. Even Rashid now. We're just talking about Rashford coming back, right? When I share videos or I post videos of certain players on my channel, when I post Rashford, the traction goes from here to there. Rashford easily gives me 60, 70,000 views. Engagement and everything. Yeah, I post Ronaldo and Rashford. Both of them, they give me that. But Rashford has gone next level. Even though he's not playing in World Cup right now, he is there, but as a squad player. But he's got that effect on people. He's got it. My last video of Rashford is nearly on 80,000, 100,000 views. It's gone viral. Previous one was on 15,000, 25,000, 40,000, 10,000. That's Rashid. So this guy will join United. If he doesn't step up, he's not going to be a starter. I guarantee that he's not going to be a starter. But Rory is absolutely spot on. He was one of their best players last season, and they let him go for 50 million. It might turn out to be a bargain. It might not turn out to be Messi Mount or Garnacho for Chelsea. We just give them back the money they paid for Garnacho, really. And then some on top of it. But Garnacho's costing them more now because he's not done anything for them. He's not done well for them. So that's the difference here. So we've got to give him a chance. I don't know if I should finish Rory's rant here. Let's see. Let's have a go.
He's been one of the very, very few players to emerge from last season with any credit in the bank at all. And I'll tell you what, this is happening because of the way the club is run. It's actually happening because of the ridiculous appointment that was Liam Rosenior. It's actually happening because of the abysmal stain that was brought upon the Chelsea office of manager by miserable McFarlane. The reason this is happening is because we have a £100 million black hole, because we didn't qualify for the Champions League, because we were so abysmal last season, because we underachieved to that ridiculous level. There is no European football. We now have a £100 million black hole, and we need to make that money up any way we can, even if it means sacrificing good players, even if it means sacrificing players that we need to have any chance of succeeding next season. And anyone kidding yourself, if you're going, oh yeah, this is good, we're going to allow Santos to leave because we're going to sign Adam Wharton. If you believe that, I've got a bridge to sell you. It goes over the River Thames. It goes over the River Thames. I can sell it to you because this is just nonsense. I tell you, it is absolutely nonsense. Andrey Santos, I don't get it, but Manchester United fans seem to be quite underwhelmed by this. Trust me, he's a really good player. Yeah. He's very, very good. He's flexible in the middle. He can play in multiple positions. He's versatile. He can play as a 6. He can play as an 8. He wins the ball really well. He's got an all right eye for a goal. Decent eye for an assist. I think it will become a Brazil international with the game time. And at 50 million quid, 48 plus 2. It's a bargain. He went really quietly about his business last year, and he had an excellent season. Genuinely had an excellent season last year. He was part of that really good run that we went on, the only good run that we went on, really. He equipped himself brilliantly in the Premier League, and considering that it was his first season in the Premier League, I think that it was fantastic. Did really well in France, and it's actually, you know, the stain on the office of manager that was Liam Rosenior. When you think about what happened in that time, there is almost nothing positive, right? But that little run that we went on, who was at the epicenter of it?
Santos.
Andrey Santos. One of the very few impressive things that Liam Rosenior did was identify that Fernandes and Caicedo as a two-man pivot didn't really work. So what did he do? He moved Enzo Fernandez forward, almost as a 10, and in came Andrey Santos. And guess what happened? We started winning. Then, mysteriously, out of nowhere, Andrey Santos goes missing. The team deteriorate. Him being dropped out of the team coincided massively with Rosenior not winning another game. Remember that run that we went on where we just lost, didn't score. Under Bluco. Remember that? Then what happened? Andrey Santos comes back into the team, does very well. If I remember rightly, he's man of the match against Tottenham, which was a big game, you know. We thought we could relegate him at the time. Man of the match in that game. I'll tell you what, I've done my best as well. It's so annoying. I really tried hard with this ownership. You know, when they bought in Alonso, I was like, okay, they've given him the office of...
Okay, so he's done his bit there. So for me, that's enough. For me to wait and see what this guy can deliver at the club, at United. I've got no reason to trust this player. Like his motivation to get him there, we'll see him through. That's what I believe. Any player that joins United now, they'll be so motivated to win. They just have to perform. So I'll leave you guys with more of Santos's highlight, if I can find it now. Let's go back. There we go. Just a minute. Found it. And I hope you enjoy it and give him a chance as well. And if you enjoy this video, if you enjoy whatever I'm posting or I'm sharing, please subscribe and help us get to 5K. We're almost there. Okay. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. There we go. He's putting in the tackles. Look at that pass. Cole Palmer. Look at that pass again. Set him up. Assist. He's got goals in him as well. He's a bully as well. He bullies people, man. He's kind of like a bully. Look at that. He can score goals too. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching, guys. Appreciate that. You know, and it goes to show you what else is there for everybody to see from his perspective, Santos. You know, off we go.